Learning to sail a boat sounds hard, but how easy can we actually make it? I teach a lot of people to sail, and I stumbled across a bit of an epiphany the other day that I use when teaching kids, and maybe it'll help you. How to sail in 3 easy steps that are so easy you can even skip step 3. I've watched every how to sail video there is in an effort to become a better teacher. The problem I find teaching people to sail isn't that sailing is hard or complicated, because it's not. The problem is that people learn in different ways. Some are visual learners, some learn by doing, and some people are plagued learning the way that I learn, the how does it work learner. I can't learn anything, and I mean anything, unless I understand how the thing works. Something so simple as doing laundry. Most children can follow instructions. Put the clothes in the washer, select the cycle, and push start. I can't. I need to know how the washing machine works, or I just can't use it. So imagine me trying to teach someone how to sail a boat. I'll explain airplane wind aerodynamics, hydrodynamics of the keel and rudder, water length displacement hulls. It's a whole mess. I've long been trying to learn a way to teach people from any learning style, so I developed a 3-step method that ignored all the other mess, breaking down sailing to its easiest fundamentals with no fluff, no big words. And here it is, my 3-step method. So it's so easy, you can skip step 3. Let's give this a try and leave a comment after and let me know what you think. Step 1, you find yourself on a boat in the water. In step 1, all we're going to do is figure out where we want to go. And once we know where we want to go, we're going to point the boat in that direction and then be able to tell where the wind is coming from. That's it. Step 1, which way are we going? And once we're pointed that way, where's the wind? So let's say this is our body of water and this is our boat. And today the wind is blowing from left to right. We want to go to this island to do some hiking or have lunch. We steer the boat to point toward where we want to go, and then we take a note of where the wind is coming from. You can usually feel it on your face, or there'll be a little indicator at the top of the mast of the sailboat. If we're going to go here, the wind will be on our side. Now the caveat to this, a sailboat cannot go right into the wind. The laws of physics stop us. If we wanted to go to the island and the wind were coming directly from the island, we wouldn't be able to do it directly. A typical sailboat can only sail about 40 degrees off the wind. We could zigzag to get to the island though. If you don't want to zigzag, you may want to pick somewhere else to go today because the wind is coming from the direction we want to go. Now, to recap step 1, decide where you want to go and point the boat in that direction, taking note of where the wind will be. You with me so far? Step 2, adjust the sails to make the boat go. This is where you'll need to remember a couple things. Let's say we point the boat at our island and the wind is right behind us. We would adjust the sails out 90 degrees from the boat so they act like big parachutes, like a pirate ship, and the wind will push us toward the island. Easy peasy. What if the wind's beside us though? We would adjust the sails about 45 degrees out from the boat so the wind hits them, forcing the boat to scoot forward. Very basic physics here. One cool thing about sailboats is they can't go sideways. If the wind's pushing them sideways, they won't go sideways. They have a keel on the bottom. So when you try to push them sideways, they would rather go forwards or backwards because of that big keel underneath. So when the wind pushes on our side with the sails out to 45 degrees, the boat will scoot forward pretty quickly. What if the wind's coming from the front corner of the boat? Not straight on, but the front corner. This is where sailboats with those keels underwater get pretty cool. They can sail about 40 degrees to the wind. So we would pull the sails in nice and tight to the boat so that the front edge of the sail is sort of splitting the wind in half. This is where things get wild, and you don't have to understand why, but here's the gist. With wind going around on the outside of the sail and the inside of the sail, that sail is splitting the wind. The sail acts like the wing of an airplane and creates lift, pulling the boat this way or forward. And because the keel down in the water can't go sideways, the boat gets sucked forward very quickly. But be careful, if you steer the boat too far into the wind, the boat will just stop. Now that's step 2. Step 1 was decide where we want to go, in our case, that island. Then take note of where the wind will be when we start going toward it. In step 2, we adjust the sails to make use of that wind. If it's behind us, they're out sideways, pirate ship. If the wind's beside us, the sails are 45 degrees out. If the wind's almost in front of us, the sails are going to be in nice and tight to split the wind. Now you're sailing in 2 steps. That's really it. You'll now be able to get to the island now. When you want to go home, just reverse the process. Now, it pays to think ahead though. If the wind were coming from behind us and we use the sails like big parachutes pushing us all the way to the island, it would be a problem later when we want to go home, because all the way home the wind will be right on our nose and sailboats can't do that. We would have to zigzag all the way home. Plan ahead. If you find yourself on a boat in the water following those 2 steps, that'll get you to where you want to go. You're basically good to go. But Tim, what about step 3? You can seriously skip it, but if you're a completionist and just need to know, here's step 3. It's doing a good job of sailing. Not just being able to get to that island and back regardless of which way the wind's blowing from, but doing it well. It's called sail trimming, or adjusting the sails ever so slightly to make the boat faster. With the wind behind us, sailing like a parachute or a pirate ship, the wind just pushes us along at however fast the wind is blowing. There isn't a lot to trim here, no adjustments needed. But when the wind comes around beside us or toward the front of our boat, we can start to play with sail trim and make the boat even faster than the wind is actually blowing. Let's say, for example, the wind is blowing at 10 knots. Now, we use knots in the boating world to make things more complicated. There's no actual reason for it, but 10 knots is about 19 kilometers per hour or 11.5 miles per hour. The wind is blowing at 10. With the wind right behind us, the best speed we could ever see on this boat is 10 knots because the wind is blowing us and that's how fast the wind is going. But if the wind is beside us at 10, we can trim the sails to go even faster than the wind is blowing. The trick is to let the sail out until it's so far it starts flapping in the wind, and then bring the sail back in slowly just until it stops flapping. Then we're going to use the telltales to get that sail perfectly trimmed to go as fast as possible. Telltales are little streamers you see on sails. They're usually red or green. They're often made of yarn or plastic. We use them to see if we have wind on both sides of the sail. This is important. With the wind beside us or in front of us hitting the boat, we want to let the sail out until the outside telltale starts to fly straight back. But we want the sail in far enough that the inside telltale is also flying straight back. If we go out too far, the inside telltale won't get any wind and it'll stop flying. If we bring the sail in too far, the inside telltale will fly, but then the outside one won't. We want to keep playing with the sail in and out until they both fly, and then keep an eye on them over the course of our sail out to the island and make adjustments or trim to make sure they're both always flying. Sometimes you have to change the trim of the sail every 5 seconds, sometimes every 5 minutes. If you can do those 3 things, not only can you now sail a boat to a destination of your choosing, you can go join local races, because this is all the base level of sailing knowledge you need to get out there and race. When we race sailboats, the 3 steps I just mentioned are really all we're doing. Pick the direction you're going and take note of the wind, set the sails according to where the wind is, and then trim them all the way until you get to where you're going. And remember how I said you can skip step 3? You can. In fact, most sailors do. Most don't even know what a telltale is. They let the sail out until it starts to flap, and then they bring it in just enough that it stops flapping. Then they kick back and relax until they get to the island. Sailing is very easy. Seriously, anyone can do it. We make it look hard and complicated, and sometimes even like it's only for the rich people. But I bought my first keelboat for $1,000. I sailed it for 2 years and then I sold it for $1,000. And that boat taught me more about sailing than anything I've done since. Now, leave a comment, please. Let me know what you think about this 3-step method. Let your kids watch it. I teach a lot of people to sail, and I'm trying so hard to find an easier way that more people can understand. The goal of this method is to respect and accommodate as many different learning styles as we possibly can in one method. I realize there are 20 different ways to learn how to sail. I can't wait to hear from you below. And if you learned anything or just like sailing, hit the thumbs up for me and subscribe, because the mission here at Lady K Sailing has always been to get more people sailing more easily, and I sure couldn't do it without you. A big shout out to the patrons who make these videos possible, people who give as little as a couple of bucks an episode so I can keep making videos. Thank you so very much. If you want to help me get more people sailing more easily, please consider becoming a patron. Until next time, friends, keep the heavy side down, but not too far down. Love you guys.